Hey, Garrett here with the Grit and Polish, and if you've been following along, you know we finished up our kitchen. And we've had a lot of questions about the plank and the molding profiles that we used in here. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how we did all that plank, what the products look like, as well as the different profiles we use for the molding. All the products we use for installing the plank and molding are linked in the description. So if you're curious about specific items, go ahead and click there. So here's what the plank looks like when it's not installed on the wall. It has one smooth face and then also one with this beadboard style face. And you can install it whichever side that you like. The plank comes in 16-foot lengths, so you can span some long distances without having to put seams in. Has a tongue and a groove, and so you just connect them together like that. And the install goes pretty quickly. In here I did add a little bit of a furring strip around some areas of the kitchen in order to have that really solid mechanical fastener go in there and hold it tight. Otherwise, I was using a lot of glue as well because I was installing this mostly over the existing sheetrock. For the fasteners, we were using a 16-gauge finish nail along with the cordless Porter cable finish nailer, which is a really nice setup that you should check out for sure if you're thinking about doing some finish molding. Let's talk plank install for this kitchen project, and if you're doing a remodel or renovation, a lot of these points are going to apply to you. So the first thing I did was remove all the molding around the doors and windows in the kitchen, and this is so that you can get the proper spacing. If you install the plank without removing the molding, you're gonna have some funny contours and funny cuts. And I really don't like how that look turns out because it kind of buries the molding inside of the planking, and that's just, for me, that's a big no-no. So you're gonna have to remove all of your existing moldings first in order to get the nicest look when you're finished. In my case, I was installing over the existing sheetrock. You can also just install this over new framing if you're in a new construction situation. And then planning for the install is really helpful to make sure that you can get your nice corners in the most visual parts of your space. So in this case, we started with the far corner, the one you see the most in the kitchen right when you walk in, and then we used that as a starting point and then installed the plank going out from that. That way, when your run finishes, you end up ripping just a little piece to fit in your last plank, and if you can tuck that away into a corner you're not going to see, it's going to look a little bit better. And then you can install either the walls or the ceiling first, and in this case, just because of the way we were doing the project, I went ahead and did the walls first and then held down the plank just that width so that I could rest the ceiling boards into on top of the wall plank. If you install the ceiling first, that's a good way to go as well. In my case, I was doing it all by myself, so it was actually nice to be able to rest the ends of the ceiling boards across the 16-foot span of the ceiling and then fasten the centers, and that made the install go quite a bit easier for me. So just a matter of preference, but plan out kind of how you want the plank to go up and where you want those little variable gaps to end up. The plank installs really quite quickly. For the most part, if you have some decent runs, you're cutting, 9 or 10 boards at a time, bringing them in, popping them on the wall, and voila, you're planked. So now for a little trick, once you get ready to put the moldings back on, you can either recut a new piece that's gonna account for the extra wall dimension that the plank gives, or you can add a little filler piece underneath the molding, and that's exactly what I did. And it's quick, it looks really good. I held it basically about 1/8 or so out, and it gave a great seat for a little caulk line, and I'm really happy with how all the moldings came out. Now let's talk about the molding profiles. Again, we're using pre-primed finger jointed pine and also pre-primed ply products from the tree. For the base, we have a 5.5 by 3/4 baseboard that has just this little detail at the top. And in order to make it feel a little bit more substantial and match the scale of the rest of the molding in the house, we went ahead and put this 1x4 piece right below it and just stacked them like that. That's a tip for creating a little bit more substantial molding profile, is to just stack some profiles that you like. And in this case, we can use different widths as well. It gives the molding a little bit of interest and dimensionality when you have, say, a 3/4 versus like a 9/16 or so. And so it provides just that little bit of relief and makes it look a little bit high end. All right, and now for the crown. The crown is a pretty simple profile. It's actually a flat backed crown. In order to give it a little bit more dimensionality and a little bit more heft up there, we went ahead and stacked a backer piece below the crown. And so again, another tip, you can take this 1/2 inch, essentially just pre-primed flat stock in whatever width you like, and then stack it below and behind the crown. And we have this, this situation where you can adjust however high or low you want that reveal to be, and you can create the profile that's gonna work in your space. So one trick for installing crown is that if your ceiling isn't super true, maybe it's got a little bit of a wobble to it, or it's just kind of out of square, you can always hold your crown down in a situation like this so that you can take up some of that unevenness just by holding the crown down like 1 inch or so is what we did in here. So huge thanks to Matri for providing all of the plank and molding for this project. We were able to salvage a lot of the old stuff, but any of the new stuff that we put in was from Matri. We love their profiles and love their products. Check them out. Links in the description below. Thanks for watching. Happy renovations from the Grit and Polish.